Hey, Cornbread review off the bat, bro. You might not like my review then, man. Yeah, so all in all, man, I ended up coming up 2.5 out of 5. Two of them things.
Yo.
5 out of 5 cornbreads for the cornbread review. What you think? Yo. Welcome back for another Cornbread movie review, man. Hey, we got a goodie today. Once again. Before we get into all that, man, make sure you like and subscribe. Like I said, we dropping episodes every week. And I am back again with a highly requested. I got some good reviews from this person right here, man. So welcome back, Fame. What's up, baby?
What's going on, everybody? Fame from Rich Streamcast, back with more of the little things in life that you love to talk about. And today I am back with Cornbread. We are back for another Cornbread review. We are going to get it in. What are we talking about today? What we doing?
You know what they're here for. You know what they
And here I was thinking, like, if I do something like that, it's gonna be too childish. I was like, no, he's gonna kick me off if I do that.
It don't matter. No. We're millennials. We grew up in this movie, man. So the movie today is Candyman. Come on, man. Candyman. I'm not saying it 5 times. I'm not saying it, bro. What? As a kid, I ain't say it. Like, man, they tripping, bro. So some housekeeping rules for this movie today, man. So this movie is rated R. Yes. Oh, yeah. It's some things that's rated R. It ain't because of sex.
No, it's an R rating.
Or really language, but it's violent. We're gonna get into that. Oh, and it's 2 hours. So good time. You know, it's not like an hour and 20. You like, man, it was very rushed through that movie. And it's not, when is this movie ever going to end? Right. So that's pretty good. And I had this in my head, even though I did my research. I was like, is this the first Black horror movie? Like when the Black guy's the main character? Because if this came out in 92, I was like, well, Tales from the Crypt, but that came out in 95.
What a yikes. There might be like some older 70s ones.
Right.
And some blaxploitation movies or something like that.
And you could be right. But this one really put it on the map though.
Yeah, like Blackula. Okay. I would say Blackula, maybe like one of the more first ones.
Right. But yeah. Hey. Either way, this brought me back to nostalgia, right? Growing up as a kid, especially in Illinois, right? Chicago area, man. This is huge back in that time. So if you're new to the channel, like I said, we do a Cornbread movie review in 5 different categories, right? So if this movie is excellent, no, they got to chip all these categories to even get up there, right? Just because you got a 5 in one category, you can get a 2 in another. It doesn't mean anything, right? So first category is acting. Second category is cinematography. Does it look good? Third category is storytelling. It has to be complete, right? Like you can't just have werewolves and then sharks in it. Like that don't even make sense, right? Fourth category, did I get what I bought? Is it, if I paid a pretty penny for it, did I get what I was actually going to view? And then 5, is it a must see? So you got any more housekeeping rules before we get into the categories, man?
Man, I'm ready to get into it.
Okay.
I'm ready to get into it. This movie was it was something. It was something that we're gonna discuss. So I'm ready.
Absolutely, man. So the first category is acting. Who is in this movie? Yahya Abdul-Mateen, man. I think casting was pretty good, solid in this movie. Casting, great. Like I said, Jordan Peele is one of the creators of this movie, so I think he automatically got people coming in from seeing Us and seeing what's the other movie?
Get Out.
Get Out. Thank you. Appreciate it. So so the main character, like I said, he played the. We're gonna give spoilers, but not too many spoilers, right? We're gonna get enough to talk through, but we still want people to go out and see it for themselves. So the main character basically, he was very curious, you could tell, but he was also a fork in the road of his life of where he was going to go in direction, right? He was looking for that experience, and actually people are going through that to this day, right? So I really got that through the screen, that no, he was really struggling to be successful. And he really fought on becoming something that he didn't understand. Hey, and we'll get to it. But what do you think about his acting? How do you, overall, what you think, bro?
I would just say in regards to Yahya Abdul that, I loved him in Aquaman. I loved him as Black Manta. So, seeing him really take the mantle and be, the main character in this movie, I was thoroughly impressed with his character, and just watching an artist struggle to find that masterpiece, that next big thing. And it felt like that was like the whole concept. I know I'm going to definitely get into this when we get to storytelling, but I felt like that was like the whole concept of the movie.
Absolutely.
Creating the masterpiece. And so you're looking at an artist in Chicago, go through it and try to, find himself, but then also find what's going to be able to make him successful.
Absolutely. And you see that he was playing somebody who was curious, someone who was drunk, someone who was in love, someone who's confused. And that transition of acting skills throughout, man, I really enjoyed that from him, right? Also his counterpart, bro, another co-host, Tiana Paris, bro.
Tiana.
Hey, first off, she's bad, bro. I just want to say that. I just want to put that in the universe, bro. She is very beautiful. Very beautiful.
God.
Good job. Good job. Good job, casting. She's very beautiful.
I remember her from, so the first thing I have seen her in that I remember thoroughly is WandaVision.
Right.
That's why I remember her from WandaVision. And by the way, she carried that show. I don't care what anybody else says. She carried that show.
Okay.
But seeing her take a lead role in a big movie, Nia DaCosta did a fantastic job helping cast her and get her, just help her get this bag, because there's some up and coming stars, some up and coming Black stars that are doing fantastic, and they need to be appreciated. And I think this movie really hit on showing these characters acting chops, because they were amazing.
And absolutely, like I said she's very beautiful, but that doesn't mean anything in this category, right? Because no, she played a powerful woman. First off, up and comer looking to take off and be great in Chicago, especially with her art and her connections and things like that. So
absolutely,
she played a loving character, and she played a survivor, bro. You see her from being the scared one at the beginning all the way to I got to get down to my thing at the end, right? So great character arcs for both of them. Like I said, great casting.
Absolutely.
I don't know how they do it, bro, but they always capture in every movie that single tear. I don't know how they do the serious face, but it's like the one tear just drops. I don't know how many takes they do with that, man. So anybody else you want to shout out in this category for acting?
We definitely got to give props to Virginia Madsen, because they mentioned her character. She was, Helen from the original one.
Absolutely.
So just getting to hear that voiceover again and getting to hear that, like, it felt like we were reliving the first Candyman movie. Yeah. Definitely got to give shout outs to Tony Todd. Tony Todd is one of the goats of goats when it comes to just horror characters. You have Robert Englund's, Freddy Krueger. You definitely got to always mention Tony Todd. Man, there's some great people out there. Tony Todd is a fantastic actor, and he just has that presence that he brings.
He does.
His voice. There's no need to put any kind of special effect on him, because that's how scary he can be. I mean, in real life, I heard he's a really nice guy, but aside from them, somebody that's been slept on, that's been out for several years now, is Coleman Domingo.
Okay.
This guy, I remember him from Fear the Walking Dead. Now, I know this series doesn't get watched as much. I know that franchise is definitely dying. Go figure. But Coleman Domingo, I didn't expect his character to take the turn that he did, being that he was, he grew up seeing the Candyman of his era. I didn't expect his character to make the turn that he did.
I'm about to say, he made a crazy turn.
It was a pretty crazy turn. It was a hard left to me. It was. I was like,
and we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. Yeah, but I thought that when he switched gears like that, I think it was a little too hard. And I feel like maybe there was a scene or two that they cut out, but because we were already on that 2-hour time limit. But otherwise, the acting was on point to me, man.
It was
on point. Yeah,
it was, and like I said, especially the casting, even the smaller sub characters, they did their role. They served their purpose. Nobody went out of their body of their character, other than the one that you just said, right? So, so overall for this category, acting, it gets a 4 out of 5 from me, man. So what do you rank this category as?
I would say for the first 2 acts of the movie, the acting was solid. There was a couple of scenes where I was like, like with the museum horror piece, the way the guy reacted. But then that third act, like I said, it started to get a little bit clunky with the acting, as far as just that hard left that character took. So for that, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. All right, there we go. Next category, cinematography. Once again, this movie is 2 hours. So that means, to me, it's okay. They have enough to work with, right?
Absolutely.
Visually, the budget was 25 million. I do movies reviews when the budget's 200 million, 180 million, right? This is only 25. Not a lot of wiggle room. That means you have to be very creative in how you're spending your money, right? And I think they knocked it out the park with this, in my opinion. I want to say they were creative. One of my favorite parts is, I'm not going to put this in the storytelling part. I'm going to put this in the creativity cinematography part, when they're using the paper people, the paper characters, and telling the story and things like that. Like very, very creative to me, of how can we do flashbacks, but it's still modern, it's still new, but save money, that we don't have to reshoot all these scenes, right? Because you're still telling the movie from 1992, but we're in today and they're actually sitting in the living room going through it. So what's some things that kind of stuck out to you?
I knew you were going to bring up that paper.
Yeah,
I'm like, man, he's
going
to probably bring it up.
I love it.
In regards to the budget, the neighborhood told the story, gave depth to everything that was going on. Cabrini Green, it just kind of backtracking real quick. When it comes to the original Candyman movie and Cabrini Green, the budget was low for that movie as well.
Facts.
There wasn't security out there like that. There was real live gangs out there that were watching them shoot this movie. They had to pay the gangs in order for them to have protection. And so this movie comes with a lot of history. So when I'm watching all of these things and I'm watching the location that they chose, it means so much, because gentrification is mentioned quite a bit in this movie.
Absolutely.
And it's not fake. It's very real what happened. And so seeing that dynamic, seeing that change from how it was in the original Candyman to this sequel, it meant, I was like, man, that wasn't something that the cast did, or the directors did, that really happened organically. So that meant a lot to me. Let me talk about the score. The score of the movie, it's so ominous and creepy, just like how it was in the first one. I got chills just watching. Even skip the movie, even before the movie, watching the previews building up to this movie.
Yeah.
They had everything in line for this movie to succeed.
Yeah.
There were so many things that made this movie great, especially just watching just the way that some of these murders happen. There's a murder that happens in the movie where if you're not paying attention, you will miss it. That's how creepy it is, because
the flawless camera, though.
Yeah, because the camera pans out, and if you're just kind of like looking away or maybe look at your phone or talk to somebody, you're gonna miss it. That's how ominous it was. No music at all when that's happened. So for the way that they depicted Candyman and the way he was able to come in and come out and just be a force, I loved it, because it was like, man, I feel like this guy could really just pop up at any moment. Like, I'm never going to say his name.
Absolutely. Even the eye transition, right? When he just has a gloss over his eyes. I'm talking about my team that has a gloss over his eyes, and you see it's just gray, and then it just snaps like that, and he's regular. Like something as small as that, very creative, out there. And I think you talked about the score. Even the music was modern. It's very creepy, but it's more modern, right? It's not all some of the old beats. It's a lot of violins, drums at the right time. I think soundtrack is overlooked a lot in movies. Absolutely. People do not take advantage of the soundtrack that goes into this. When I started it, this is graphic. You get to see people get their heads sliced off, all this other stuff. Like it's wild, and I enjoy that type of stuff. That's what gets me going. But it's like, hey, how can we make it look like, oh, you could tell that's green screen. You could tell the makeup wasn't right on that. This is very tongue-in-cheek type of stuff. But no, this is, oh shit, this is real. This could really happen to me, right?
Yeah, because a part of it is real.
Right.
A part of it is real. That's what makes this movie so good. It wasn't like Lord of the Rings, we're in one area and then we're in a whole other area and there's a ton of green screen. These were real places. Absolutely. And so that's why it's like, man, like this is happening in neighborhoods. Like this is happening in like a area that really was like shut off. So yeah, man, Cabrini Green is real, you guys, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's real. So
even down to his hand being infected. And just the progress of that. Just like,
so
come
disgusting.
on, bro. Come on. They picking the scab and stuff like, man, hey, you can hear everybody think like,
fingernail. I don't do fingernails, man. I don't do fingernails, dog. I don't do it.
Absolutely. So With all that said, in this category, man, I had to give it a 4.5 out of 5, man. I was very impressed. Um, the higher ratings that I give for cinematography is really the lower budgets, because that's the people who really have to be creative. You can't rely on just throwing money and have everything green screen. You can't do that with me, right? So those get extra points for me. So 4.5 out of 5. What you got at Fame?
Man, you talked about throwing money and just expecting to work. Sounds like every Michael Bay film.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm definitely gonna give this a 4 out of 5. Like I said, I was very impressed, especially with such a low budget, and to be able to just make it work like that, especially for a horror movie. And you were creative with how you did your violence, and it wasn't just blood, guts, and gore. It was like it was art.
Absolutely.
4 out of 5.
And across the board. So there you go. So you got 4 out of 5 and then 4.5 out of 5 cinematography for that category. The next one, man, this is what we've been alluding to the whole time, man. Storytelling. This has to be incorporated in every movie. So if you're new to Candyman, you know, this is a remake of what we said of the 1992 movie. Now, there's different Candymans, but I would say only watch the first one, in my opinion. Watch the first one, you get the most nuggets to me, right? So it is a remake from a hood classic. This is, I don't know if you noticed this, but to me, it was always a stigma on scary movies. The black person's always dying first, right? That's always been the stigma, at least growing up. If you watch the Jasons or whatever, black person died first. But in 1992, the white person died first. And guess what? I made sure to see if that held true in this movie, and it did. So I was clapping. I was proud. I was a proud dad watching this movie, man. I was like, yeah, okay, we made it out of this one too. So the storytelling, I'll touch on a couple pieces, but I want you to elaborate more on yours too, right? So watching this movie, I know I've seen a lot of movies, man. Like, as you guys know, Cornbread Movie Review, we got movies every week. So I'm constantly watching movies. So I'm like, okay, they can make a movie out of this, make a movie out of this. How can they take the first one and build off of the second one? To me, this was more front door. I got why they did it, and they executed why they did it. But there were a couple flaws on what they did, right? And so something as small as the main character, he hears a story about Candyman, you know, that gives him intrigue now. So then he does his research, and then all of a sudden he gets stung by a bee now. Like, come on, I'm like, how is that adding up? He could have got stung by a bee a long time ago. Or what if this story took place in California? Would it have the same effect, right? So the story they made it shape shift to make sure that the movie worked. And so sometimes, to me, it felt forced in that area. So what's some things that you noticed about storytelling that you liked or disliked?
Okay, so I'm actually going to pick up off of that. So
okay.
Let's kind of dissect that.
Okay.
You're kind of asking, like, why did this just so happen to happen the way it happened,
and the timing of it, right?
And the timing of it. I would say a lot of that has to do with fate. A lot has to do with destiny. You got to look at the first one. The first one, they definitely hinted at it through just like the paper figures with Candyman abducting the child, and what he did. I think in the and there was room to grow off of just that part where he abducted the child. He didn't simply just abduct that child. He branded, I guess you could say, he branded that child. He cursed him. And so there's no telling how long curses last or when they're going to kick in. And so the fact that things happen the way they happen, you have somebody that just so happened to become an artist, and yet the past Candymen have all had some kind of craft or things that they did, that he was also an artist and he was looking for his next masterpiece, and then he ends up becoming the masterpiece. I find that so ironic. And then there was just this intrigue that he had with it. It's like he kept saying it, for some reason I'm drawn to this. I'm really feeling this. There's times that it feels like we're drawn to something, or like there's something that we're super interested in, that we have a gut feeling on. Man, I know this is the right thing, man. This is my calling. That was his calling. Now, he didn't know it was going to turn out to be so damn horrible, but that was his calling.
Right.
And
it felt right to him.
And one of the biggest things I took away from the story was that there's power in a name. There's power in a name. And I know in certain cultures, they believe that, you know, there's that thought that if you all collectively think of something, that you can create it, that it'll manifest. And so, especially like in African culture, I know that's really what they were hitting on, just with our showing ancestral, you know, just our ancestors, and just how, you know, there were these spirits of vengeance, because ultimately that's how I see Candyman, as a spirit of vengeance. Like, this guy is not just randomly just tearing people up. These are very calculated killings that he's doing this to. And so watching Anthony's character just descent into madness, and the people that get dragged along the way with him, it was a fun ride. It was, up until we got to the third act. The third act is where it was just kind of like, okay, how did we get from we're in an apartment to we're in an abandoned church?
Right.
I that was a hard transition for me. And so
absolutely,
it was tough to understand, but overall it didn't destroy the message of the movie. And it felt like kind of like if you like movies like Nightmare on Elm Street, where they you don't say his name. You don't say his name. That's how you stop him. That's how he's powerless. It's almost the same thing here, except it fits with what's going on within the culture of just Cabrini Green in Chicago and the gentrification, which is just like, there was so much stuff that was covered up that it's hard to tell the truth. Well, now there's and then you have so many people that were wrongly or innocently killed, that they have some type of vengeance behind them. And so that's what it felt like with Candyman. It's like he was a spirit of vengeance.
Absolutely. And like I said, so this movie is somewhat well, it is a sequel, but it's more of a prequel too, right? You learn a little bit more on, like you said, there are multiple Candymans, right? So like that was introduced into this. And like I said, one plot hole that I really don't want to say it, but it feeds into why the storytelling, maybe they opened it for the next one. And they didn't address it, but they alluded to it, is when, you know, Tiana Paris's character, when she's a kid, right, and it leaves her that her dad had these issues, and they had a small scene on what happened, right? And I don't want to touch it because I still want people to watch it, right? But it's like, okay, so how does that tie into this? Because it was, to me, it was, you could have left that out and left that part for the next movie. So certain things were incomplete on my end on how I felt about it. I definitely want to touch on how Candyman was created, right? It was basically off of, let's say, police brutality or racism to the highest extent, right? And then this Candyman is a person who's really saves the hood, and then he terrorizes everybody who says his name, who doesn't have that, let's say, that look or that act that right to say his name, right?
That's right.
So
names are important, man. Yeah,
absolutely. So I really enjoyed that they stuck with that theme. So anything else you want to talk about in storytelling?
Yeah, I mean, I think you just hit on, I think just the origin behind Candyman is just the idea of there being some type of innocent slaughter in the name of race. And I think that played a huge part in it. And you see that you're going to reap what you sow throughout time. And so we're definitely opening the door for a lot more. And I mean, I'm curious to see what happens next.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I agree with the second movie, but the first one, Helen is a white female that said his name, right? Yeah. But Candyman was curious about her. So it's like, come on, we low-key picking and choosing how we slaughter everybody who's not like that. But the first movie is the opposite, right? So like I said, just obviously me rating movies on an equal standard the whole time, I have to keep that same energy, right? So so storytelling, I'll let you go first on what you rate this, and then I'll go with mine, man.
It's hard to make a dramatic, scary movie. It's incredibly hard to do that. I can't probably name you 5 actually good, dramatic, scary movies. This movie for me was able to do that. Was it perfect all the way through? Right. You name me a perfect scary movie. No such thing. Right. So, so with that being said, I am giving this a 5 out of 5 because I know how hard it is to make a scary movie and make it relevant.
Absolutely. So for me, I give it a 3 out of 5. Like I said, for those little things of, I think it made up in other categories in my reviews, and the storytelling was the part that kind of missed for me, but I don't totally understand why you feel that way too. So this is exactly why we have these reviews. So people get different. This is exactly why we do this, right?
Put 5 in the comments, y'all.
Come on, man. What? We have to. I think this is healthy conversation and dialogue, right?
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
I think it sparks a conversation, and I think that's what we need to have. So
Absolutely.
that's storytelling. Next category, did I get what I bought, man? So this movie's in theaters, so your ticket should be anywhere between $10 to $15, depending on when you go. This movie brought out the old nostalgia of being in the movie theaters. That's a scary thing, and you have Black people in the movie theater. This is a good and bad thing, because now I hear dudes talking, man, I wouldn't go down there. You hear girls, ah, bro, she just walked in the room. Like, what you screaming for? What the? Come on, man. Like, that frustrates me because I need to pay attention to everything, right? Like, I don't want to get sidetracked.
Yeah.
So that's the luxury of being in your house when you, man, I can rewind, rewatch, do all this other stuff.
Pause it real quick. Look at these bad real quick.
When you're in the movies, you can't even go to the bathroom. You missed the part, right? So that really pissed me off about that. You know, getting that feel back, which I was very happy, but just a lot of distractions in the movie theater. So to those listeners out there and the viewers, if you want to go out there and watch it, it's only in theaters right now that I know of. You know, obviously COVID's in there, so still wear your mask, or, you know, if you're vaccinated or not. But going into it, I wanted to see Candyman. And if anything, I got more Candymans than I thought. You know, I got the history of it. The violence, man, is sign me up. You already knew when somebody said his name, it was a rap for him. And that's what you got, right? So what do you think about, you know, did you get what you bought? You know, was it worth the watch and everything like that?
I think the best way to answer this is to kind of walk you through what my night looked like. So I debated on if I was going to go to the movies, and I'm like, man, maybe I should just wait. But I was like, you know what? Let me go. So get up, go, pay my $10, get in. I'm waiting. I'm in a big theater. It's kind of a lot of people, not so much.
Right.
Go use the bathroom before the movie starts.
Facts.
Come back in. Here's somebody call my name. I'm like, who's calling my name? Who sees me? It's my buddy from Red Streamcast, Daz Bones. He just so happens, Daz the hero, my bad. He just so happens to be there in the back. He's in the back. Didn't call him at all. And then we get to watch the movie. There's gas. I think for me, getting that feeling again of when you go to movies, sometimes you see your homeboys, you get to, you know, share that experience with people.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed that. I thoroughly enjoyed that. The thing I had to make sure of was that going in, watch this movie, I had to watch everything, paying attention to detail for everything, because unlike being at home, I can't pause this. I can't rewind it back if I miss something. I have to stay focused. I have to look at this. Plus, I'm in a different kind of chair, so I'm making sure I'm sitting up like this the whole time, just watching it. So it was very different, but it was something that I missed also, because I was glad I got to share that experience with everybody. So I do get what you're saying, though, when it comes to just people talking. That's like one of my biggest pet peeves. Man. Stop talking through the movie. Stop. Unless we all laughing, stop talking through the movie. Stop.
And I don't know if you noticed it or not, but only one Black person died in this movie, man.
Yeah, I kept count.
Yeah, me too. So it was good.
Well, actually, it was two.
Ooh.
Technically two. So you had.
We'll talk offline.
There was two.
We'll talk offline. Who the two? Yeah, we'll talk offline. We'll talk offline. But Candyman's about that action, boss. He's not playing. So I don't know if y'all out there and y'all saying it or not, but good luck to you. Watch my review before you do it. At least give me some thumbs up the video or something like that. But
you have a thumb after that. That's all I have to say.
Facts.
Hey.
But did I get what I bought, man? I think I went into and I left pretty happy, right? Like, all right, I'm glad I got to see this. And I'm watching this as an adult now. I'm not watching it as a kid in my house, and I shouldn't be watching this movie, right? So it brought back the nostalgia, brought back the feeling good. It brought back even seeing the first movie. I'm like, okay, good. I didn't miss anything, right? So did I get what I bought? I gave it a 4 out of 5 in this category. So what you got at that, fam?
Did I get what I bought? Went to the movies, paid a fair price, got to see people I knew, got to enjoy experience with people. I got what I bought. I'll give it a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. Okay. Definitely. Last category. Hey, this is what we all here for. Is it a must see, man? I'm gonna say, well, I'll let you go first. Is it a must see? Because I've been talking long enough. What you go first? What you think about it? Is it a must see?
Don't go see this movie. No, I'm playing. I'll say this: if you have seen the first one or seen the original, you need to go see this one. There's ifs, ands, and buts about it. If you've seen Nightmare on Elm Street and you've seen just how that series works, you need to go see this movie. If you love Jordan Peele, if you're a fan of almost like a psychedelic type horror, or just psychedelic movies or thrillers, or just stuff with deeper meanings behind it, you need to go see this movie. It's a must. Absolutely.
And like I said, this is a hood classic to me. Candyman rings a bell, especially in Illinois. Like I said, only that's where I grew up, so that I can only that's my reference.
We might be a little biased, y'all.
That I'm a little biased, but everybody knows about Candyman, right? So that's number one. Number two, I left thinking more that these things are serious, right? Some nuggets, like you said, the gentrification thing is real, bro. And they brought it up and they highlighted that word 17 times.
Yeah.
So that you're not leaving, not understanding. And they even did a small little segment on what it is, and how it happens. And just people, if something's for the hood, they created the hood anyway. Right. And then now they want to get you out of there because now it's like lower prices. And then guess what? Well, they say they're going to put a Whole Foods there. Yeah. And it's a wrap. Now you can't even survive there anymore. And then they just tear it down. So those little nuggets like that.
That's real, y'all. That's
sparks
real.
the conversation.
That's real.
There was a little twist. I would say even without the little twist, I still was satisfied. I understand why the twist happened. But is it a must see? I have to give it a 4.5 out of 5, man, because to me, I was going to see this no matter what. From the trailer to even the advertising of saying Candyman 5 times in your phone, it unlocks the final trailer for the movie.
Which I didn't do.
I didn't either. But that's so creative.
Yeah.
It gets people, and I go to the movies every week. This is the most people I've seen in a movie so far.
Yeah.
To bring out this movie, right? So is it a must-see? I would say 4.5 out of 5. What do you rate this movie in the must-see category?
For a horror movie, for a soft reboot / sequel that was able to just hit the mark pretty much all the way, I gave it a 5 out of 5, man.
There was one quote that I had to write down that they said they love what we make, but they don't love us. I said, that's deep, bro. And if you don't understand what that means, I don't know where you grew up.
Prove me wrong. That's all I can say. Prove me wrong.
That's one of those things you got to write down. Just that's a tattoo, right? Yeah. That's people's livelihood right there. So overall, that is our review for Candyman. From acting, cinematography, storytelling. Did you get what you bought? And is it a must see? Overall, this movie for me is 4 out of 5 Cornbread movie review. Fame, please tell the people what you got.
Next time, I'm going to bring some cornbread on here, like real cornbread. I'm just going to hold up how many. We'll bring real cornbread on here and have it like how many I had. My overall review, my overall score, I gave it a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. And that's amazing how we rank different categories, different ways.
Totally rank different categories.
Come out to the same result. So that shows the quality of this movie, though, right? Mm-hmm. That two different people are watching it, taking away different nuggets, hate different parts of it, but yet we still come to the same result. So check out my 2021 Cornbread movie review. I told y'all I'm gonna start making this thing 2 different pages because I'm running out of room. I'm running out of room. This thing is getting the font is getting smaller and smaller. So I might the next week I'm gonna make 2 different lists, so you'll see that. So this is the part of the movie or part of the review where it's the forgotten segment, man. I'm not going to these are the type of movies that you need to go back and watch, right? These are the top notch. This is in my head. These are the standards that I'm holding the movies that I'm watching to currently to. So I want to give y'all my 2019 top Cornbread movie. And it's in the same genre. Like you said, it's hard to find those mystery, suspense thrillers, top-notch ones.
Yeah.
This is one, fam. And if you haven't seen this, this is your homework. I need you to go out and watch it. So this movie came out in 2019, and the movie is Midsommar. You have to watch this. This movie is you don't know where they're going. But all I know is I didn't want to talk to nobody after it because I'm like, no, you might be, I don't know. Are you in a cult? What's going on? It's very a little shaky, but this movie is full of suspense. Florence Pugh, great actor. Like I said, we just talked to her about her in Black Widow. great, phenomenal to me. This movie did win awards, and it was a low budget, so the creativity on visual and how everything worked knocked this out the park. So this was one of my top 2019 Cornbread movie reviews. This one and Joker and Midsommar are one of my top 2 movies of 2019. So I'm not bringing this movie lightheartedly. Go watch this movie, I would say, but try to watch it with the lights on and you got people with you, because this is going to creep you out. What movie did you bring to the people, man?
So first off, I saw Midsommar
right
last year.
Okay.
Wow, what a movie. What a movie. I saw Hereditary, so that I had to go see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hereditary.
Yeah, that's a psychedelic one. That's
it is.
Wow. So since we're talking about Candyman and we're talking about just these Black horror movies that come out and just the messages that they hold behind them, because these messages are real messages. I was trying to follow suit with that, and I had to think back to what's a movie that scared the hell out of me when I was a kid, but when I watch it now, I can see the messages like, oh, racism or just weird, whatever. Right. I gotta go with Tales from the Hood.
There we go.
Gotta go with Tales from the Hood. 1995 Tales from the Hood.
And that's crazy. I brought that up at the beginning, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, tells a story of some not so nice people that end up in I believe it's like kind of like a mortuary, pretty much.
Yep.
Clarence Thomas III's in it. God rest his soul. Man, that guy is amazing. He has some of the craziest lines in it.
Absolutely.
But it tells like 4 different stories, and there is a twist of twists at the end of that movie. It has one of the best lines I have seen in a movie, hands down. Oh, I'm not gonna say it though. I'm not gonna ruin it. But yeah, top tier, definitely top tier movie. If you like the original Candyman, odds are you've seen Tales from the Hood. Yeah. If you haven't, get cultured.
Absolutely. Facts. So there you have it, man. I mean, these are 2 movies that you guys need to go watch. And like I said, we gave Candyman 4 out of 5 for completely different reasons, but that shows the quality of this movie. Shout out to Jordan Peele, man. He's doing his thing, bro. I'm excited. I hate watching the end of his movies because I'm like, where's the next one? I always want more. Always want more. So shout out to him. Fame, thank you again for blessing the Cornbread movie review. Can you please shout out all your information so that people can reach you and follow you and everything like that, bro?
You guys can definitely follow me at Ridge Streamcast. You can also follow me on Instagram at Uncle Ben _90. Once again, that's Uncle Ben _90. We on Ridge Streamcast. We talk about a little bit of everything. We talk about sports, talk about anime, talk about TV shows, talk about movies like you, Cornbread. We like to have fun. We like to talk about the little things in life that you love to talk about. Also love that you brought up just Jordan Peele. He's doing his thing. Also, one last thing. When it comes to Candyman, this new reboot, Nia DaCosta's the first Black female director to get such praise and get such accolades like this. So this movie's fantastic. Respect. Thank you for having me.
Respect, man. Thank you, man. So make sure y'all like, subscribe, share this with your friends, bro. Like I said, in the comments, let us know what you think. Who was right? Who was wrong? Are we tripping? Is there a part that we forgot? Right? Because it's a lot that we could have discussed. But, but there's plenty of gems because we still want y'all to go out and see the movie. Or if you hate it, please let me know so we can debate, baby. I love it. So I'll be back again next week. I love y'all. Peace.